Oh, I broke. Swapping blades. I already forgot the measurement. I think the measure twice, cut once phrase was made up by a guy who always forgets his measurements and had to come up with an excuse why he was measuring things twice all the time. This is the YouTube Yacht Project, by the way. If you're new here, welcome. Glad you're here. Anyway, it's a boat-themed rental cabin that we're in the process of building. We started doing some soffit in the previous video and finished up the deck, and today we're gonna do some more soffit, some more deck work, and possibly some exploratory railing designs. We'll use my little PLS laser. Just shoots a laser at the top and the bottom. It's like a laser plumb bob. Shoots it at the front too. Not applicable in this situation, but we're transferring this angle here from the deck up to there. We're just lining it up on the edge of the board, making a mark up top. By the way, at some point in this video, people have been asking about an update on the world headquarters. I have a little bit of an update, and I'm a little sneaky with something too, but you'll love it. You'll be like, this guy, he's clever. Or you'll be like, this guy looks tired, or I'm not sure his shirts fit anymore. Maybe he should get a tighter belt. I don't know, you'll have lots of things to say. See that? See how quick I am getting a measurement? I didn't even need to read it. Didn't even have to read it, just had it, you know? There it was. This is great. This is fun. Some days you just have to embrace the suck. Somebody's like, man, Mike, you just don't look like you want to be there last video. I don't. I don't. But when it's done, we'll be like, let's go to the boat, have some cold snacks. Count those big stacks of cash from the rental income. You know, then it'll be fun. But right now, fella just wants to take a nap. I gotta pay attention on this soffit, the way we cut it. Let me show you. It obviously has a nailing edge, and then, well, whatever you want to call that, that slides into that, and we nail right there on that fella. Screw. We screw right there on that fella. Or attach. Screw it. Whatever. You're putting your fastener through that side. So we gotta make sure that that side goes out, and that the side that slides into that goes against the building. There's lots of ways to cut metal. A decent pair of snips isn't awful. I've seen guys turn blades around backwards on skill saws. Of course, grinders. But I'm trying to get forearms like Popeye, so we're just... Oh. Scoot that as close to the edge as possible. Get in there. Oh, I see. Hold on. Bent down right here. There we go. Get in there. Come on, Neil. Come on. Cut the right end? Oh, I did. I did. Somebody asked why my friends don't ever help me with this stuff. It's because they all have things called jobs. Wild, I know. Honestly, I wish I knew a lot more bums that just hung around the house doing nothing all day, but I don't. I made friends with ambitious people. Careful. No, don't. Hey, stop it. Stop it! No. This is good. Next, I've got to run my J channel on the inside of that gutter board. Now you can, sometimes people run 2x4s like this on flat, and then you run your soffit perpendicular, and then your fascia comes over and wraps the end of that soffit, and that's fine, but I personally, even though it's definitely more work, I like having that little lip that kind of hangs down, a little dimension on the edge of it. I think that looks sharp. So that means I'm stuck with running something on the inside. It's back to the whole, there's easier ways to do it, but sometimes I think the easier ways look, I don't want to say cheap, just, I don't think they're quite as sharp. And I want this thing to look good, you know? I want this thing to look like the finest paddle wheeler that was ever on the Mississippi. Just, you know, that paddle wheel on the back here, just slapping the water, just, I don't know if that's water slapping sounds, but. And the pilot's up in the wheelhouse blowing the steam whistle, trying to get Huck Finn out of his way. That Huck Finn, he's always in the way of commercial traffic. I tried to do that take up there in the wheelhouse twice. Once I forgot to turn the camera on, climbed all the way down and realized it. And the second time, a gentleman showed up that I was buying a bucket off of. So it is a joke about Huck Finn being in the way of the river. Don't worry about it. Anyway, check this out. Look here. Look at that rig. Finally got us a bucket for the skid steer. I had a fella reach out a while back. He said he didn't want to be on camera, so I'm not going to say his name because I don't know if he wants his name on camera either. He knows who he is though. He just left. And he reached out. He's like, I got a bucket at the farm that's more of a skid steer bucket than it is a loader bucket. He had a tractor, and there is a difference. A skid steer bucket normally has a longer, flatter bottom like that, where a tractor loader bucket normally stops, it clips here. And if you've ever tried to run one on the other, you know that they definitely operate differently, and they definitely were built for different purposes. Anyway, he sold it to me for a heck of a good price, and he delivered it today, so I gotta take a few scoops with it, then we'll get back to Soffit. Absolute perfect. I can see the cutting edge with just sitting in the seat normal, or just kind of skimming the top, cleaning it up, nothing fancy, curl up, run the edge, pull my excess. It is the perfect bucket for this machine. It is the perfect bucket for this machine. Look at the edge. Right there. Look at that. Look at that. View from inside. It's not super heavy duty. Neither is this machine. She's not high horse. From sitting in the seat. There's my cutting edge right there. I mean, it's perfect. It is fantastic. It's really hard to get back to doing soffit whenever you just got a bucket for the skid steer. I know we're working on something else right now, but check this out. I want to show you something. If you've been on the channel for a while, then you remember the World Headquarters project. This is an old historic gymnasium we're in the process of trying to save. And we got a ton of videos on all the work we've done in this old gymnasium, so we can try to save this piece of history. These are all just temporary braces to hold that up. But the next big step is replacing this failing CMU wall with a poured concrete wall. You can see she's coming apart pretty good on us. Not only that, she's got a real hefty lean. We've poured these buttresses here to help support it in the meantime, but we've got to replace that whole wall with poured concrete before we can start rebuilding and repairing all those trusses up top. But as you might have gathered, saving old historic buildings is pretty expensive and not something that the everyday fella like myself can afford on his own budget. We've been using the help of partnerships to pay for this. Well, we're continuing that trend. Listen, I know advertisements in the middle of your video are not your favorite thing, but saving old buildings, that is one of my favorite things. And these advertisements help pay for that. Brunt's supporting me in this project. Maybe you guys can support them as well. These are the Marins they've sent in the past that I rock whenever I do any welding or fabrication work. They're leather, they're very light for a work boot. I got these specifically for welding and fabrication work, and they are absolutely perfect for that. This time around, they sent me these bad boys. Okay, the Casparians. Casparians? Listen, I'm gonna put it in text, 'cause we're not really known for reading and writing all too well here, but we do like our boots. Look, that's what the bottom of it looks like. And for as light as these boots are, these honestly, they feel even lighter. They also sent these pants. Didn't even know they made pants, gonna be completely honest. These are the Tora HD cargo pants. I mean, look at the nimbleism, huh? I don't think that's a word. You don't have to be flexible, but it's nice that your pants are. That might be the end of my day, boys. I don't know if I can recover from that maneuver. Speaking of welding, we're out of gas. We got some more work to do on the backhoe next week, so we got to get that refilled today. I like these pants so much, I'm actually going to use my discount code and the link, which is down in the description. You can check it out, and I'm going to order myself another pair of these pants. If you're just in the market for something comfortable, give them a try. In their own words, if you don't love it on the job site, you can send it back. Now, take 3 was worth it. It was worth it. Who doesn't love a good Huck Finn raft joke? Fill in these outer edges first, and we'll work the posts. Then we got to work in around these posts. Now, you can, if the fella's worried about it, you can go in and block behind these so all these little corners have support. It's nothing I really worry about all that much. You're not walking on this, and the steel soffit is fairly rigid and supportive on its own, so we're here and here. Normally it'll just kind of float itself and it'll be fine. So we got to rip this down, and we're super lucky because the rip line is pretty much right on this rib. There's lots of ways to cut this. Power shears are great for rips. It's a little tricky on metal this thick. This blade's okay. But we can also score it a few times and just bend and break it. It's about 5 passes. Whoa. There we go. Now I can mark out for our post. I've already got that one marked. Ready to cut, and I got to measure for the other one. take glue off overall. Okay, we can do that. That's an easy adjustment. I think that is a good, nice, tight, clean look. I like it. I like it a lot. In fact, I liked it so much I went ahead and did it on this side too. Very fancy. The obvious next step is to go ahead and continue this soffit on around. This gets a bird box all the way across. We're just gonna run flat across there. But the metal company we got the soffit from didn't send the F channel that I need. We could block it out and run some J up there, but it's just a lot easier to run F along that. They didn't send it. I paid for it. I checked the receipt. It did not show up. So hopefully that shows up later this week for us. Same company we used when we did the roof. They didn't send everything whenever we ordered the roof metal as well. A lot of people said, oh, Mike, give them a second chance. So we did. We did. That's what we did. Good news is we have plenty of things to work on, one of which is finishing and doing this radius band board across the front of that. So let's see if we can go ahead and get that installed next. What I've got to do this with, or my plan, I've got these 1x10s treated, 12 foot long. We're gonna try to glue lam two of them together. Now obviously, it's not 12 feet across there, but I've yet to see a treated 1x that looks halfway decent, so I wanted some length to play with. 44.5 for that. We're not going to be cutting it exact length. We're going to cut it long to help with the bend. But I just need to make sure that I actually have it long enough. Yeah, listen to that 1x12 is cracked. It seems like every time I get a treated 1x, the last foot or so is always just never great. Mark the middle. So the initial plan here is pretty simple. We're just going to run some long screws in and see if it doesn't just suck it in for us. Breaking right here is a daggone it. There's a knot right there. It's gonna break that knot. There's a knot right here that's wanting to crack. That next piece doesn't have hardly any knots in it, which is why I was saving it for the outside. So I might, knowing that this is fairly easily pulling these, I think I'm gonna slather this thing in glue, get that next piece up, and hopefully with that better piece, glue laminate, it'll kind of help form over where these knots are at. And it's not really structure, all the structure's right here. It's just something to finish this edge off. So Gorilla Glue, rated for exterior applications. We're about to just smear the heck out of this thing. We go get glue on the concrete? Oh, yeah. We're getting glue on the concrete. Do we care? No. It's gonna get on everything, frankly. The ladder, the tools, my hands, my clothes for sure. My fancy new pants. If you're trying to figure out how much glue you should use for something like this, if people in the comment section didn't tell you you used too much, then you didn't use enough, you know? It's gotta be enough that people think it's too much. especially on the top side. I just want an obnoxious amount. I want it to push out that top side really good because I don't want there to be water getting between these boards in the long run. Anywhere but the hair. That's the rule right now. This glue can go anywhere but the hair. That is a curved band board, and I think it looks pretty daggone good. The next step though, just to make sure we're sucking that thing as tight as we can, we're gonna sink a bunch of these. These are GRKs. Oh no, they're not, they're Spax. Sorry, different brand. They're Spax. They are exterior decking screws approved for treated lumber. Be careful, not everything is approved for treated lumber. The chemicals in the lumber can react with the coating on some screws, so pay attention to that. But approved for treated lumber, 1.25 inch, T20, and they got a little bit of a shoulder. So that will go through, catch the board on the back, and the shoulder is going to allow it to pull in and squeeze those together. We're just going to sink a bunch of these in somewhat of a pattern. I don't know what you guys are doing for fun, but if it's not knocking your box of screws off the ladder, I think you're doing it right, honestly. Because this, not even, okay. Magnetic camera handle coming in handy. Look at that. That looks good. I'm gonna let that glue dry. And then in another video, next time we work on this part of the deck, then we'll trim those off so it'll be flush. But I want that glue to dry. I want to leave it at full length because I'm worried that if I cut right there, they might induce a split where there's a bunch of extra pressure. I could be wrong, but why risk it? It's not like there's a renter coming tomorrow, so. Guys, let me know if I go too far. Can't really see, I'm just guessing. It's probably adequate. I picked this bad boy up on Facebook Marketplace a while back. You guys probably seen it in the back of some of my fabrication videos over at the shop. For this specific purpose. Oh no! I only paid $50 for it, so that's good. It's upside down right now. I think this is how you carry them. We're just gonna go this way. So obviously we have to have two different rails. Top, that's the top in case you didn't know. And this is the bottom, and believe it or not, the bottom rail, there's a good chance it'll be completely different than the top rail. And the reason is they were back in the day. The bottom section was kind of for freight, so they just ran horizontal slats that they could remove to load freight on and off, and the top was like a decorative railing because that was like the passenger area. And we may do that or we may do decorative on both. Either way, I want to make a mock section of railing to see what we come up with. Now there is a height per code that we have to be, and don't quote me on this because I need to absolutely triple check, but I believe I've got to have 42 inches for the top of the railing up here. We're not currently on the tire. It's also the first time, I fired it up. It'll be the first time I'm putting wood with it. Let's tension her up and fire it up real quick and see if it'll. So cool thing, see this little lever right here as we tighten it? It tells us where we need to go. The blade's 1/4. That's the tension we're looking for. I'm expecting this blade to pop off here. This thing probably needs a little cleaning. If this doesn't work, we'll just grab the jigsaw that I don't know where it's at and run a few like that. The question is going to be, how ornate do I want this to be? And I'm just looking at some other railings on boats, some old pictures. Something like that. Now there's some things we gotta take into consideration. This will not be the final form. We're just gonna make 4 of these, slap them on a board, slap them across that post and see if they look like. What do you think? So this will be about 1.5 inches up off the bottom. Right now it sits at 39, which would put us at 41.5. We could raise it up enough. There's code for how much gap's allowed at the bottom of a railing, but I think we could raise this up 2.5 inches, still be plenty good on that. I just got to double check, and that would put us at our 42. I want it on the outside because I want it to go straight across these posts like they're not there. I don't hate that part of it. I don't hate the design. I straight up just copied it off of a picture of an old paddle wheeler. So I don't hate it at all. I'm tempted to add a hole right there. Just a little bit more pizzazz on her. I got some thinking to do on it, but I like the general direction it's headed. And I can say that for the whole boat. A little bit of progress, some problem solving, and this is the part that just slows way down. It's the reason that I didn't really want to get back on it, because everything at this point, you know, when you're building it in a day, you can slap up all the walls and it looks like you really did something. But now we're at the point where in a day, you just get a few details done if you're lucky. But it's these details that just are gonna send this thing over the top. So it's worth the time. Next video though, we're actually back on the Cat 304 because my top roller came in, the windshield glass came in, and we're gonna try to get that quick coupler tightened up a little bit. So that's the next video since all those parts are in and I need that thing. Hopefully the F channel comes in, we'll get the Soffit finished up and then we can start on the siding. So I'm pretty excited about it. It's your first Captain Kleeman video every Monday and Thursday, and this should be Monday's video. So Thursday is when you can watch us working on that Caterpillar 304. And if you've been with us for a while, then you fully expected me to drop that while I did it. Guess what? You're disappointed again, aren't you? Okay. Oh, Mike, we won't be able to get our luggage up and down your spiral staircase. I can take the whole fence, okay? You got plenty of room. You're just complaining because you're bored and you're not doing anything.